it's not a massive amount. Those odds are incredibly close from our good friends over at Lootbet. 1.8 for the GAMBIT youngsters and 1.91 up for the FORZE camps. If you do want to get involved, you can check out their links underneath the Twitch channel. 10 free CSGO spins and up to a €100 bonus on your deposit. GAMBIT youngsters starting up on that CT side. A couple of flashbangs up for Nafany with the kit, where for FORZE, they've got Jerry and Power on some nades. Very fast play out towards the longhouse, getting complete control. GAMBIT youngsters being very passive on the CT side.
Set towards the longhouse control for FORZE on the T side start. GAMBIT youngsters set towards the short position here for Shiro and Axel. Facing in, trying to get some information, trying to get some good plays into the mid control. The early starts could go the way of the CT camp. It's very, very passive from FORZE. Outside of the longhouse position, they are not looking to face forward of any of the main angles. Finally, contact is established towards that mid position, and Axel kicks things off. Hobbit gets flipped down over in the lower tunnels. 5-on-3 situation for GAMBIT youngsters.
And they've got all the information. They've cleared out mid and they've cleared up the upper tunnel, so they'll know that for FORZE, they have to be out towards long. And look at how many rotations are going to keep coming into this bomb side. FORZE need to get a bit of a move on.
Armors up. First face up. Smoke down towards that short position. We'll try and cover them off, but in reality, body block from Nafany will give a bit of a gap there to the CT spawn area. Axel with a kill. Face Crack takes him down. Shiro still close towards the short plant position. And Face Crack knows about it, takes the fight, just about wins it out with the support of Jerry. And now they can secure a bomb plant. A retake to come through. No, it's actually been dropped in the open. Does get picked up by Face Crack though, so the plant is eventually going to be resumed.
And they're waiting for a little bit of over-aggression from the GAMBIT youngsters, but it's not really happening. Two players out towards CT, one out from short. And FORZE is still yet to get that bomb plant in. Now they'll know Face Crack is going to be able to get it through, so at least FORZE have that to work with.
D250 tap in, getting a kill. Face Crack turns around on Hobbit. Instance gets into a 1 versus 1. The Face Crack comes up big, secures himself a nice tidy triple. And get the pistol round to the favour of the T side. GAMBIT youngsters starting things off well, but FORZE managing to come back in the end.
Yeah, looking, it wasn't as if GAMBIT youngsters were kind of like throwing themselves at the bomb, you know, throwing themselves to getting very aggressive on that retake, but just some really great shots being hit from the FORZE camp to bring that round back. There really should not have been too many opportunities there for FORZE to be able to get a round victory, let alone a bomb plant. And GAMBIT youngsters going to be forcing on their CT side. Axel is going to start things off for the scout shot into XE.
There's a start there for the GAMBIT youngsters once again. The good kills towards the mid position. Big way in for the scout out. Mac 10s and 2 AKs on the FORZE duos. Don't think anyone wants to recover that scout that was dropped by Power, which is fair enough. And set in towards the defaults. The Eagle Hobbit is ready and waiting, but will not see any pressure from the T side presence.
FORZE, similar to the pistol round, slowing it right down. And GAMBIT youngsters very spread over the map rather than being bunched up and sort of playing a little bit of a buddy system. And you've got to think from FORZE, what's on the cards here? Taking the lower tunnels control, player still towards top mid. Under a minute left on the clock, and for the CTs, there's still a little bit of utility for them to work with, not a massive amount. It could be a mid to B to come out for FORZE.
They've got the mid control. Smoke's down on CT and B cross. No smoke for the boost spot position. Almaz is going to make his way up. And set this flashbang on towards the site. Shiro takes down a second kill. Almaz to fall blind through that smoke. Nafany close range of the CZ. Flicks back up to Flit as he sees him crossing, but couldn't get the frag back, and the scout suppressed towards the corner. Turns it back to evens for FORZE. 20 seconds, the bomb punch should be secured. Deagle turns around for Shiro. Spots up 2, takes out 1. Jerry and Face Crack still turn it around. And Hobbit left with his own Deagle set on a 1-on-2 scenario. Tapping up, trying to look for the player back on plat. Desperate to get Face Crack, but no. Face Crack ends up with the frag back on Hobbit. Securing a second for FORZE, even when it looked like they were pressured there by the CT defense.
Yeah, look, and you said, Jay, in the pregame that this is going to be a bit of a brawl, and it's certainly showing that that's going to be on the cards. We've seen GAMBIT youngsters now, both in the pistol and in the FORZE, they've been able to find advantages, and pretty big advantages to work with, but it seems like when it gets later into the round, that's really where FORZE come into their own, and defending off that B bomb site. And GAMBIT youngsters not going to be able to bring much going into round 3. Just going for the USPs. There are a couple of Mac 10s out for the T side, though. So this is certainly an opportunity for them to start to build up some bank.
set to position here in the mid control. Two players out on catwalk. The third of the bomber's going to go ahead and join them. Got one in the longhouse, one in the tunnels. Two CTs out towards the cross position over on the B site. Meanwhile, FORZE move in towards the short control and Inters backs up a little bit. Much more passive for his lineup. And the Deagle in for Armors takes that fight. The USPs do dink down on towards him, so there's some damage being done by the CT camp.
So far, so good for Gambit youngsters. The best that they can really hope for is just trying to do as much damage as possible. Oh, flying Mac 10 coming out from Flit to follow up with 2 kills, farming up that money, $1,200 in kill bonus. Axel does find 1. Hang on a minute, they found 2 kills on this CT side.
There's damage being done. The Mac 10 picked up. Almaza and Jerry are also very low, so if they face aggressive, this could be quite a little bit of damage, if not maybe even a return round coming in from the Gambit youngsters, but they sit and wait. FORZE helps come through. The Mac 10 does not see Almaza. He's so close towards that corner position. Sees him now. Spray through does take him down. So damage done, money gained at the very least. Will he catch off Jerry next? He will see the man. Spray through takes him down. While I would give a chalk up to a retake, the USP will start pushing in here. Axel takes some damage. Napoli trades out with the AK, takes that fight, wins it out to take all players out for FORZE. A very expensive anti-eco coming through as an AK gets saved, and the rifles come back in for Gambit youngsters.
That's pretty embarrassing from the FORZE side. The fact that everyone goes down to 5 USPs and an AK saved over. Gambit youngsters just, I can't believe they do so much damage. Yeah, of course they don't win out the round because it's just no investment, there's no kit, there's no nothing. It's just USPs, but they got away with so much more than they expected.
Shots out from the AWP towards mid. Of course, Shiro's got his AWP set towards the A-site defense. No one contesting short as they go heavy, but passive towards the long control. Gonna leave Nafani to set themselves up here towards the B-side defense. And I've not liked this whole defensive setup from Gambit youngsters. You know, they leave a lot of control towards the mid positions for FORZE, and if they burst in towards the B-side, a lot of the time teams can overwhelm Gambit youngsters. So if FORZE are smart, they'll recognize this setup and they'll probably try and adjust against it.
I'm trying to take short for the most part for FORZE. 3 players to deal with around this A bomb site. These nades can try and do a fair bit of damage. Inters gonna do a big chunk onto our Mesa, and now for FORZE, they're starting to back off and potentially go in for this B split. Now there is a player that's dropped down into CT. That's Inters. 2 players on the defensive hold. Do they expect there to be 2 anchors at B?
Well, again, if they've done their homework, they should have no surprises up ahead of them. 50 seconds to the clock, and the T's are stacked up towards the upper tunnels and upper tunnels entrances. Let the time tick particularly low. Inters has readjusted to go passive on CT and checking out window in case they've walked out. They haven't just yet. They have all their bases covered for the moment. Smoke go down towards CT and they'll realize what is actually coming through. Inters, how will he get himself into this position? Flashing potentially from a teammate, he's waiting for it. Nothing as of right now. AK from Jerry gets down 1. Nafani held towards the back of the site. Inters gets himself 2 frags, and Nafani needs to get a kill. He'll get that 1 frag. Inters will drop, and Nafani will go falling quick. 2 on 2. Ball make his way towards the site. And the retake up for the youngsters' side.
Very quick though. Look at Shiro just getting straight into the site, and they've got a gut feeling. They've heard the footsteps now of where Exy Power is. They can both try and pick on each other's contact. The AWP not being able to find the fast flick to try and follow up. Exy Power can't escape around the corner, and Gambit youngsters are going to be able to win out this first round. I tell you what, Jay, that all came down to Inters. The fact the distractions were pulled away from the B bomb site. He was able to push out through CT, get a couple of kills, and then Shiro was just so quick to try and deny that bomb, or at least get into the site for a retake.
Yeah, hyper aggressive from the AWP there, the CT camp.
Look at the money, Jay.
Yeah, it's in tatters for both sides. Force up will obviously come through from Gambit because they won that last round, but FORZE have the option of going for half-Cs here, and I have a feeling they might consider that. Tactical pause coming through from the T side very early on here in the game.
And that round where they were up against 5 USPs and everyone goes down, it wrecks their economy going forward that they have to half by now. Unless they're gonna, well, Jerry's forced down, so this actually is looking to be a force buy if Jerry's bought this low. and taking a tactical pause just to kind of discuss their options. But Gambit youngsters, they'll realize, okay, we won, or we didn't win a round, but we took 5 players down in that USP round. Then we won a gun round where everyone went down. We will know the economy is very, very low. This is really the opportunity for the youngsters to climb back into this game. Considering the fact that it's a force buy, you can look at potentially a tied up scoreline and maybe even trying to progress it into a lead, but they need to focus on the round right here into round 5.
Smokes over, into set with the incendiary Molotovs back and forth between the longhouse positions. The T-side player will make his way right up. Almaza looking to hunt for the kill with the Galil. Gamma youngsters are not extended so far as to get towards that pit position. So they'll just back off and leave that position back for the FORZE camp. They've not done any major damage. The great opportunity, Flit, pushed out of the long entrance, and Hobbit's going to reveal some position information now. They know where he is over at car. They can adjust against him. Burst up in the SMG, still comes up with a kill with Hobbit getting a frag of his own right. And that is a clean-up round coming in from the CTs. Very quickly dealt with on the FORZE hit.
I'll tell you what, I don't think they realized that there was 2 players in B, because you had a player towards car that they heard, but then a player towards sort of the back of default that wasn't peeking at all. So for FORZE, they had already started to run out from B before contact was even made on the defenders. They were hiding so deep into the site and not really finding anything. Only a single kill goes the way of FORZE. A couple of AKs being picked up now for the Gambit youngsters, and a very light eco indeed. A couple of P250s upgrades, not a lot to work with. A single smoke onto Jerry, and this should be an easy cleanup coming out for the city side.
The Eagles and P250s is standard. Straight up with the air rifles in for Inters 2-3 frags. Snapping gets 1 SMG frag, and Inters ends up with a 4K. Nice and efficient to clean up the anti-eco. 3-all is the scoreline. FORZE with their bite back. Rifles coming into play here for round 7.
Looking for a bit of a response to FORZE camp. And Gambit youngsters playing with a little bit of confidence in that last round, Jay, getting very aggressive out through mid in the short position. Running double orbs too onto Shiro and Nafany. This is a little bit of a surprise on how early the double orbs have come out for the youngsters.
Double op set, of course, for Gambit. Nafany into the mid-control. Passive from the CT side of the map. And again, they've gone for this 3-2 sort of split, or 3-1-1, if you will. Favor to the A-site players. The AWP needs to adjust towards the doorway if he has to sort of take any of these faces in. Inters, meanwhile, trying to respond towards the mid-control. 1 player directly on short. Jerry's on Xbox. But he won't aggress around this corner here. He'll just sit pretty and fall back instead.
Yeah, Shiro does have a flashbang for Inters if he does want to overextend and look for a very aggressive duel. HG again, just doing chip damage over and over again around this short position. There's always a single member from FORZE that's getting caught off by this nade.
Mash up AK. Dropping out position here for Inters. 40 seconds through the clock. Time is ticking away. The flashes will go over. Two CT players will turn away from the likes of Inters' utility position.
This is a fake. They're going mid to B.
Again. Indeed, they are. You're right about that. They'll just leave face crack here to try and defend against the Inters. Will try re-aggress back towards this one. 19 seconds though. They're still going to have to act quick here from FORZE. Flick comes up with a kill on Hobbit. Still got Inters back here. Nafany with the AWP on sight. Gets a kill. Shiro falls. Face crack falls the same. The AWP no scope does not land. If it had gotten that pick though, it would have stalled for just enough time to deny the bomb plant. And a 3-on-2 situation for Gambit youngsters. I think a save may be on the table.
I tell you what, I've seen FORZE run this over and over and over again, where they've just got to lurk out towards the B tunnels and they just fake out from short. You can just see the reposition. They want to try and fake that out, go in for the mid to B. Flit does a really great job of finding that opening kill, and from there, like, they wasted a lot of time FORZE getting into the site, and it could have got really awkward, especially if that AWP on B was able to connect. But a response round coming through for the FORZE camp, being able to take back the lead, Jay, at 4-3. And for Gambit youngsters, it was a bit of an expensive round. They did upgrade that secondary AWP, but with the money built up, they'll still be able to get a buy through.
Well, speaking of buys, Hellcase is the best place to buy and open cases and get some 6 skins. Malta V and Malta V15 are your codes for free money and free refill bonuses. Only at our case partners at hellcase.com. Double op set up in for Shiro and Nafany here for the GAMBIT youngsters side. AWP for Exy. Straight up for the face up. Good shot from Shiro. Connects towards him. Blind with a flashbang. Double dips for more, but doesn't see any more T-side presence. They back out of Longhouse and try working towards mid instead.
Yeah, they backed off from long as soon as that opening kill came through. And that means for the City side, they've got instant control. And face crack, not going to be spotted off the jiggle peaks from Inters, but a molly to come down to buy himself a little bit of time, fall back and start to reposition. Now, we've seen FORZE in these positions before, Jay, where they've lost the opening man advantage. How can they claw back in, taking deep mid control, but not following up with the bomb just yet?
Oh, Almaza takes out Nafany next. Good kill to be found. SMG is still close. Inters AK set takes out Almaza next. 4-on-3 situation. SMG is going to evade the nade, take some damage back from Hobbit and try and fall back out position. Still holding very close towards the line. Solo defender of the B site as well will desperately need backup because he's so low with an SMG. I don't even think he can get a kill in this one, but Axel in the back lines could find a backstab against the mid control. Hobbit will eventually fall. See the player towards the mid doors and Jerry will get dealt with. So a 2 versus 3 favor to the CTs. Retake on for GAMBIT youngsters.
Still very doable though for FORZE, considering the fact that Inters is this low. Face crack getting up close and personal to try and get to that car position. Setting the Molotovs, setting the retake nades up for the CTs. They're all coming in from the same angle, Jay. No one from the tunnels position.
Axel takes out face crack, Flit left alone. AK finds 1 low HP player, 2 more to the right hand side of the big box. Sees the face in on Axel, gets a headshot, 1-on-1 still left for the man, but Shiro wins the fight regardless. Defuse will come through, and this will be GAMBIT youngsters evening the score against FORZE.
I tell you what, FORZE could be really happy they at least got a bomb plant because they have certainly got a few players that don't have a lot of money, Jerry and Flit in particular. They should buy here, considering the fact that Exy, Face Crack, and Almaza do have a fair bit, so it could be Galil's up for Jerry and Flint. FORZE up. What a, I don't want to say it's been a struggle from either team, but it's been a grind from both teams. Like, all 8 rounds that have been played so far, Jay, they have not been easy for either team.
You can see that with the way that the money has worked for these 2 squads, you know, just the damage being done on ecos and rifles, the expensive sort of losses on both teams. The buy-ups can look a little bit lopsided as a result. Jerry with a Tech 9 on the FORZE side and the FAMAS out for Nafany. Smokes flashes, nades up out towards the B-bomb site. Contact, 4 players leaning in towards short control on the A site play. 2-1-2 split does come through this time. Shiro's AWP is held towards A site. He's ready to take some players down.
I tell you what, that little bit of utility actually pulls Inters away from the CT mid position over to trying to defend B. FORZE up, look like just going in for a short commitment, and Shiro, he has to deal with a lot of pressure here.
Here's that back up towards the long control. That nade might aid him a little bit, and indeed the damage has been done. Players making their way out of CT. He needs that rifle to support from Ramp, and Axel will get a frag for it. Flit trays, AWP scopes in, sees Almaza towards Gandalf. Axel's going to fall. PT50 around the corner, sees where face crack is. Turns it to a 3-on-2 in the M4 for CQC now. Inter's making his way up for the CT spawn. Shiro still facing around. Empty thinks he's rotated out towards long. He's wrong, and he goes down for it. Shiro with 3 frags, grabs the double op setup, and grabs the 5th for GAMBIT youngsters.
Wow, that was a very nice play coming out from GAMBIT youngsters. FORZE put a lot of pressure into that short tape, dropping players into CT and still carrying the momentum in through short. And for GAMBIT youngsters, it looked like it got a little bit awkward there. There were 2 players trapped around that ramp position, both the rifler and the AWP. Shiro ends up dropping that AWP, picking up the rifle from his teammate. Let's have a look on this replay again. Just finding so many answers back. Shiro's on form today. He's performing at a very high level.
Kind of player you want to see on form as well. Shiro's usually been a standout player for GAMBIT youngsters over their recent sort of form. The Malta Vibes victories, the 9-5 tournaments. You know, the main brunt of what they're competing in. He's always been one of those guys you expect him to go, right, he's going to be the guy to perform in this one. He's going to be the guy to post the big numbers. FORZE are going to try and counteract numbers with speed, and they're leaning in towards the B site, mid to B split, where there is no Shiro. They've got Hobbit and Nafany instead, and they do clean house for the opening 2 kills. The Deagles can respond.
FORZE are in a really great position here. They've got a 3-on-3. They've even got Jerry that's been able to clear out mid, so he can sort of stay here and try and cut off the rotators. A 3-on-3, Gambit youngsters, they've got a lot of advantages into this retake, but at the same time, Jay, they are really slowing this down. No way. They're saving. I can't believe that. That was an eco from FORZE.
For all intents and purposes, sure. 2 M4s picked up, though, and the overwhelming T-side force is just too much for the CT side to handle. Flip gets Inter's back 2-on-2. Damage again being done to the CT camp, and even if this wasn't a round victory, they'll be happy with what they did so far here for the FORZE camp. And 3 players falling down. The buyback from Gambit is going to be so hard here. This is going to be a real awkward setup. Single round loss bonus for the players that had nothing to work with. And we'll still get a second AWP in play, but it's going to be supported by so little.
Now, you've got to think that these AWPs really need to be impactful in a round like this. And FORZE have got some pretty good spawns out towards the longhouse and maybe try and see if they can get some melee control. 3 players actually being anchors towards that B bomb site, and Shiro again starting things off with the AWP completely blind out from long. And a FORZE go B, this could get very awkward, Jay.
Gambit are ready for the mid to be split this time. The AWP going to get baited in. Smoke back from Hobbit will try and siphon off the tunnel's commitment. They'll leave 1 player in mid now, putting smokes up and flashes over. Utility towards the short control will bait in what's going on out there. But this will be a B execution. Will they be ready for this? There is so much more presence from the CTs compared to previous rounds, and while it looked like we're going to commit initially, FORZE maybe thinking of backing up. No. Molotov in, Nafany going to get back passive, not going to get caught by the flames. The nade will get real close towards landing towards him. Smoke will clear back towards the tunnel's entrance here. The commitment's coming through.
Now, with no resmoke, they'll think that that back plat position's completely clear. Nafany has got so many advantages, especially with the stack in this B bomb side. Boost coming up! Oh, what a shot from Power!
Quick to the trigger, headshot found, and the side player towards the mid position will rotate back and join them. Jerry will fall meanwhile. CZ doing a lot of damage to Flit. 24 points in over. They know where the player is over a car. Inters will fall. Still Hobbit gets a tap to the head of Flit, but he's just caught off by way too many angles. 2-on-2. Backstab incoming. The AWP does not land to the man. The bomb will get picked up and planted. Retake on for Axel and Shiro here.
Player is low. The AWP of Power is going to be able to chime in again. And now for Shiro, he may even be thinking about the save, Jay. Yeah, 1-on-2, money incredibly low. It makes a lot of sense. FORZE up. Wow, that was a really nice boost. I haven't seen a double boost like that to clear out the back plat position. Now, often you can normally go for like a triple boost tower towards that left side to get a bit of vision over a smoke. But that was very creative from FORZE, and they read it like a book. They expected Nafany to be in that exact position.
Lo and behold, he was. Despite a serious adjustment to the stack up and a serious adjustment to the number of players playing that B-site play on the defense, FORZE will still overwhelm it. But Gambit youngsters have been doing real good to keep pace with this team. I wonder... There's more to come in the second half. For now, it is going to be an eco coming up for them. To round 12, looking towards the round 13 buy instead. AWP of Shiro being the only thing that they have to work with this AWP. Trying to catch presence out towards the mid control. 2 shots from Exy will drive them away for the moment, but they make their way in towards tunnels to stop off the tunnels rush. It's actually the long control coming in from FORZE though.
Something that they haven't established too often on the T-side defaults. They've normally been shut down at long, to be fair, from Shiro. And getting the player in towards that pit position of Power, and there is no contention for the T-side out from mid, nothing out from the B tunnels. They're just all stacked up through long, and look at the stack from Gambit youngsters.
Okay, this got interesting. There were 3 players to defend B, they couldn't make it work last time. 4 players with pistols this time around. Don't know how much FORZE were expecting this. The AK of Jerry looking on, ready to face. They swing out. Axel caught off initially. AWP fires away, caught off by Flip. Next Jerry spraying through the do damage to the next player out here. Hobbit on 4 points of health. Inters will get Armors there, but the nades will get Hobbit back as Inters falls in his return. And Nafany left alone here at a 1-on-4. Good effort there from the Gambit side, but I think extending a bit too far. I think if they had just held passive, they probably could have got more impact in this round.
Yeah, look, they were just trying to take some fights, I suppose. They wanted to try and fight aggression with aggression. They did have a nice stack towards that B bomb site. An idea. Didn't quite work out, unfortunately. And, you know, we've mentioned, Jay, especially when we were at sort of that 4-4 scoreline going into round 9, how the fact of both teams been able to really target each other's economy. You have a look at GAMBIT youngsters going into round 13. They've got M4s across the board. They've got a FAMA up for Nafany. No kits and no AWPs, something that they've had for the majority of the CT gun rounds.
Molotovs in, nades out, flashes in. Look at how far the team's going to make their way up. Look at Flit here, gets that kill on Axel. Still got Inters out to the corner. They think it's clear. He only gets one pick for his trouble, though. Exy chimes in, desperately looking for the next CT. Out here lands that shot on Shiro. And the two players backing up have no idea that short control has already been gained by FORZE. They think they're safe. Hobbit's definitely not. And Nafany is left isolated, alone, and now dead to the hands of FORZE.
Oh, wow. This is really FORZE starting to come alive now. This is, what, 4 rounds in a row from them on T. And just a lot of confidence, Jay. And GAMBIT youngsters had that player close in towards the longhouse or outside the longhouse on the wall. It did a lot of damage, but for FORZE, they had face crack running up through short, was able to clear out that A bomb site, continuing the presence up through long. And maybe going into the second half with a very strong lead, they'll be looking at trying to put 9 or 10 rounds up on T.
Would be a very capable T-side half. We're expecting the T-sides to go well as well for these two teams, so having FORZE to get off on the right foot definitely makes a lot of sense, definitely aids this Russian camp. GAMBIT youngsters. Players set towards tunnels and mid, taps up from the USPs, and Nafany trying to do some damage, and just get returned in doubles here against his line. Axel and Hobbit held towards the mid control, and as Nafany falls, B site is open. No casualties sustained by the T side. Taps up from Jerry, gets his double in, and the bomb plant to be secured.
Hobbit swinging out, but face crack swinging back in, and a pretty simple round coming out from FORZE again. Bit of damage done to that T side. Jerry and Flick go down incredibly low. Mesa gets taken out, but foreign eco doesn't make the biggest of differences for GAMBIT youngsters. They're focusing, of course, into the last round of the half. Double orbs once again up for Shiro and Nafany. And you've got to think for GAMBIT youngsters, even to get 6 on the city board, will have a bit of contention going into that second half. But giving up a 10-5 half does make it awkward. Oh, hang on a minute. Damage, 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 damage. I think, did Exy Power just got hit by that auto snipe?
I think maybe Nafany may have got a shot off on him.
I know, because I heard a dink, so I don't know actually. I thought it might have been a bit of a stray bullet when you spam those auto snipers. Anyway, whatever it is, a bit of damage has been done to Exy.
I'm sure we'll find out soon when the kill comes through on the kill feed. Keep your eye on who got the assist on Exy Power.
Ah, yes, good one, Jay. Didn't think about that.
That is assuming it goes down here for FORZE.
Yeah, now he's going to stay alive for you.
I'm curious now for what that is, but for now it's just default setups here from GAMBIT and FORZE. FORZE set towards the short position. They've got one player to defend against them in Inters. Another A fake, wrap around towards the B site, commitment straight towards the A site. I mean, they've got 3 players to deal with here. The 2 of them are held towards that long control. Smokes go down, but they're not going to commit off mid to B. They're going to flash their way in towards A. And now start the final hit of the half here. Orp focusing here, can't find Flit at the edge of the smoke back in the mid position. Nafany desperately trying to look for that kill. He sees his man, but Flit gets the kill. Inter's back up Goose now. AWP for Shiro held as Almaza falls. Jerry goes down next here. Exy Power backing up here towards the passive position. Is going to try and join the likes of Flit now. Entering and rotating back towards the B bomb site. M4C's Flit sprays. Oh! And the kill on the AK turns us back to evens at 3-on-3.
Oh my goodness, that was such an adjustment coming out from Flit. That was an insane kill out for the T side. And now a 3-on-3. This makes this retake so much more awkward. No one is even really in quick rotating positions, and Flit is already very aggressive.
Double ops out for the defensive. This works well for FORZE in this context, especially as Flit double dips in, gets down into, sees one more towards the mid door, gets the kill on Axel, and Shiro, last man standing, finds his frag. M4 picked up, Exy's low. Face Crag is tagged. It's still workable here for the lone CT, but he's got no utility, no nades, no nothing. Facing against Face Crag, takes that fight. Desperately trying to get a kill on a headshot, 1-on-1 now, and trying to recover a gun right here. No, facing up with a knife out. M4 needs to come through. He has no idea where he is. Back at big box, USP taps it, sticks it. No idea. Exy comes forward with the kill, and he gets himself a 9th frag to close out the half of FORZE. 10-5 on T side. They're taking the advantage.
I'll tell you what, that's a really good half from FORZE. They came into a really good game plan for GAMBIT youngsters. I think probably one of the biggest weaknesses was maybe that B-side defensive. And we saw a lot of B-side executions, a lot of mid to B splits to come out from FORZE. They certainly came in with a bit of a game plan, a lot of anti-stratting, certainly. And they hardly went longhouse control. You could see, like, maybe a few rounds they at least attempted it, but they hardly took any long control because Shiro was just kept shutting them down. And those odds have shifted a lot since the beginning. 1.2 up for the FORZE camp. 6 rounds to go, Jay, for them to be able to take this best of 1. Very impressive on that first half.
Indeed it was. Shiro taking damage very early on here towards that mid face. One of the pistols upgraded to a raid boss. Face crack. Ready for contact alongside Exy in the back lines. 2 headshots come through for the USP, and they're still tapping their way through them all heads. 5-on-3 situation. Shiro's very, very low. Blind off. Face crack does get overwhelmed. Doesn't actually go down, actually. 2 players extremely low, and he gets another 3rd kill, dropping that bomb out in the open as well. Facing him for even more. Face crack got 4 kills, and Fit closes it down for the last pick of the round. FORZE with a brilliant pistol. I should say Face crack with a brilliant pistol.
Wow, that was incredible. The fact that there's just hardly any trades to come out from GAMBIT youngsters. Now, they had the choice of just trying to back off and get out of that long control. They kept fighting one by one, and Face crack just kept hitting shots. What an insane pistol round coming out from FORZE. And for GAMBIT youngsters, they get away with 1 kill, no bomb plant. They can't invest into anything, so it's just going to be Glocks. FORZE really starting to put the pressure on now, and even the aggression from Flair.
Finds the frag, Hobbit to fall. Napoli next facing 2 thrags found by the SMG, but no further than that. Enters, trades it, bursts up. Damage done towards Shiro. Trying their best not to give up the money here to the likes of Jerry. Axel does get a frag back, actually, 3-on-3. Face crack moving in. They do find the SMG, but Face crack cleans up towards lower tunnels. Still, for an eco, that's a lot of damage being done.
Could be more, Jay, especially with the scout out in play. Almost connects that into a 1-on-1. And we've seen GAMBIT youngsters doing a massive amount of damage on these rounds where they don't really upgrade anything. Axel, though, is going to be heard. Bunny hopping around the corner. Face crack to find the last kill. That was getting a little bit scary for the FORZE camp and may affect them going into the future, especially with the CT economy in the way it is. In saying that, though, Jay, FORZE are being able to put up a 12-5 scoreline. They're getting very, very close of being able to close out this opening best of 1.
Well, tactical pause for the FORZE side. Would have thought GAMBIT youngsters would be the one taking this one instead, but alas. They've got the rifles out. They have a good inkling of what it is they want to do. Limited on certain aspects, though. Not a lot of utility to work with for the T-side camp. And Shiro is glass cannon AWP. He had exactly enough money to buy the big green gun in this round. Therefore, that'll be all he buys here for the youngsters' side. Meanwhile, the M4's in on 2. SMG, AUG. Scout in for X. He will take that fight in against Shiro. Shiro won't win it, but neither will X. Get a tag off, so contact defaults towards the mid positions, and T is here in the upper tunnels.
This is so aggressive coming out from FORZE. You've got Flint into the lower tunnels. You've got Jerry pushing up with that MP9 towards top mid. And GAMBIT youngsters have no idea that Jerry's here. This is such an advantageous position. Even smoking off towards top mid. I don't know about that smoke. I don't think it was supposed to land exactly where it did.
No. Big gap on the left-hand side for them to try and exploit here for the T's. FORZE do lose the opening kill as well, down towards that mid-challenge. M4 and Flinky up in position. Nafi can swing on towards it. He still gets that kill. Jerry actually finds Axel, so an AK recovered. So a 3-on-3 with top mid control established. They can continue to work off this, but as Face crack falls on shore, suddenly Jerry is left alone. And the T's make their way on towards the B site. It's Almaza, the lone defender, the best player to defend here on a solo hold. Lots of health for him. Gets Inters down for one phase. 1v1 against Hobbit goes well. And the T's are offering up this round to FORZE. Shiro in a 1-on-2. AWP knows he's close. Flashbang in, allows the face to come through. Damage to be done. Re-peeks back in, but it's Jerry to close out the round. That was such a poor B hit from Gambit youngsters. You don't need to face 1-by-1. You have a 1-on-3 situation basically.
Oh, look, I don't think it was played poorly because they realized the fact they've got to go into B quickly, Jay, because they know where Jerry is and they know that Jerry's rotating in. So they slow it down and you risk the fact that they're starting to run 2 players as anchors on that B bomb site. So that's why they went in so quickly. And the fact that just Almaza is just able to play that so well, the fact that he doesn't overextend, the fact that he's just peeking left and right and waiting for Jerry to back him up. FORZE up. It just comes down to a single defender at B that just shuts that round down completely, and Gambit youngsters just could not find the trade.
Main control sure established here from the T side. Gambit youngsters trying to recover off the back of that situation. Four players here run boost. Good shot from the AWP to adjust for XE. Simple stuff. Jerry comes up through against Hobbit. And Gambit just picked apart as you would expect here in the anti-eco.
That was a great shot from XE. Good to see that he's on point today. And for Gambit youngsters, what do you do here? 3-on-5, not really too many options. FORZE up. Looking to try and put 14 rounds on the board, and Gambit youngsters maybe to try and split in through the B bomb site. Even this HG, a little bit of damage, but Almaza takes down Axel. Just more players start to fall.
One kill for Nafi has come through, at least a consolation frag, but he's dealt with super quickly here by XE's USP. And the scout is Shiro, finds a tag on Flip, reface in against the next. Armors are low. I mean, generally they are pretty low here for the CT camp, so there could be some opportunities for frag. Okay, Shiro! 2 kills. Bomb plant can just about come through. Imagine he clutches this.
Oh my goodness, it's in a 1-on-1. It's in a 1-on-2, and XE's so low. This scout has been able to do so much work, and he's looking to extend, Jay. He's looking to get aggressive. He's now picked up the AK.
Oh, this is on. This is so on for Shiro. He needs one good headshot on face crack to shut him down. He's going to try force the issue as well. Sees the shoulder. Duck down. AUG checking it. That's the frag, but not quite the 4th. Oh, how close from Shiro. Good shooting for the scout. Tag damage finished off the frags, but not to be. 14 to the CT board.
Oh, that could have been big. That probably right there could have been the biggest clutch we've seen in week 9 of Malta Vibes. That second shot onto Flip was absolutely unreal. And XE was so low. Oh, that's such a shame. Gambit youngsters, it could have been it. It could have been big. It could have been it all, but it's not the case. FORZE put 14 up. And for a round, Jay, where they didn't have too many upgrades, they had, what, a P250, some Deagles, and just a Scout into Shiro, just a half buy. I think the Gambit youngsters can be pretty satisfied with the damage that they did.
Yeah, an eco that may still break the backs of the economy going into the next rifle round. All Gambit youngsters have to do is win this round. Rifles in for both sides, obviously, but you can see the toll it's taken. Double orb set up. Flip will be able to buy his head Kevlar and kit, but Almas has got barely any utility. Jerry's limited on the head Kevlar and utility. Face Crack's limited on utility. It's a big investment and still not able to get everything that they want out of the round, so there's a chance for them to reset that to basics on the loss bonus here and on the money line and the savings in general. So Gambit youngsters, 1 round is all they need to change their fortunes and get a momentum swing back to the T-side favor. Got to come up good here.
Yeah, they need to find a response for sure. And FORZE, again, they've been really aggressive on the CT side. And it's kind of surprising that both teams have played 2 very different styles of play on CT. We saw Gambit youngsters playing very passive, very deep into the sides, where for FORZE, they've actually got the intent to try and look for opening frags, try and take map control away from the T side.
Damage done to face crack here at the back of Carl. They know he's there. They're seeing the blood splatter effect, so they know he's got to be there somewhere. Molotov HG, I mean, if they had some of those, it would be great for them. Molotov does try and force face crack out of position, but he still holds back behind Carl. They force him into a much more angled position, though. He still gets the weapon kill! And two! Face crack should not be allowed to do that!
How? How has that happened? They knew exactly where he was. They were doing so much spam damage. And this round's done. This round's absolutely over. 2 on 4. It comes down to Shiro and Axel. 2 players that you want to be in a situation like this. But even the nades, they follow up. More damage is done onto Axel. And FORZE are so quick on the rotations.
AWP of X is on site, ready to face. Axel goes down. That's a good shot. And Shiro's left alone. Oh my god. Like, how? How was face crack allowed to have that much impact? Essentially pushed back into a corner, spammed down with the rifles. If only they bought a HE, if only they had a few more left in that utility basis, and that probably could have been a kill of their own right, but the Molotov, the spam damage. Again, look at his HP numbers here, like 38, 29, 2 points of health, still peeked in, still got 2 frags. Unreal. Absolutely unreal here. It's map point for FORZE.
And I tell you what is even more surprising, the fact that Hellraisers are able to get to double digits against MIBR, where Gambit youngsters are not even looking like they're going to get close to double digits on Dust 2. But fast out towards long, this could be a big contest.
Straight out YNG facing in towards the top of the big blue box, getting Nafany down. Good kill. AWP vexing back towards the right position. Flip catches on it for a 5-on-3. Flicking back towards the next man here, towards the mid position. Knows that Intis is also so close to the bomb. Picked up. Shot connects to the leg. Does not get the kill. And they do overwhelm the B side, but a 4-on-3 situation favors FORZE for the retake.
No, quite slow to getting into that CT position. They're all siphoned off by that mid to B smoke, and for Gambit youngsters, they've taken a lot of control away. We see Shiro very aggressive in the lower tunnels to try and deal with any of the CTs trying to wrap around from behind.
DT's pushing up, FORZE are making their way in, trying to end things off right here. Axel back behind big box, looking towards the B door entrance, nades up, smokes continue, flashes over, here they come. Jerry makes his way out to the open, Axel gets that fire, face crack, turns it around with a kill, Almas the doubles up, and now it's all left to Shiro. Bombers tick quite far though, they haven't got towards the site in time, they've got to retreat. FORZE are focusing way too much on the kills, could get no one to the site on the defuse, and they will get away with 3, but Gambit youngsters get away with a survival round.
No one got on the bomb. That's all it comes down to. They needed to be someone on there and just stick it to get the defensive hold to come through from the rest of the teammates, because they... Well, Shiro was the last one left. There were still 3 players alive on that CT side. I tell you what, though, look at the economical damage that's done to the T's. 3 Galils come out for Gambit youngsters after just winning their 6th and stopping a streak of a mass amount of rounds. That was 11 in a row from FORZE.
AK up. Almas back down towards the pit position. Got 2 CTs here. Checking out the corner. Face crack moving in. Flashes evaded here by the CT cap. Trying to get Hobbit out position. Indeed, he will be able to escape. They will spray blind, put a lot of bullets down range, but they're unable to get the kills for it. 4 players stacked to this long control, so the A-hit will come through, but they're going to face a very early and very forceful retake from the FORZE side. Assuming they can get this bomb down. X is going to do everything he can to deny it, though. Face in against Nafany. Gets that kill to open things up. They duck down, look for the bomb plant position. The man's been seen, though, and X is not letting him get away with that.
Oh, he's doing so much work. There's still so many players towards long. The FORZE are in just such a great position to shut this down. And surely they must know now. YNG coming out from Almas and trying to tap away. He needs a little bit more support, Jay.
1 frag found back by the T side, forces the burst through from the M4 and AWP comes out. All left to the short controller. Hobbit bomb planted open for short. Sees 2, but can't transfer the spray to the second kill. So FORZE will complete the retake, will complete the match. 16-6. Best of 1 victory going their way as Gambit youngsters looking real off form.